So I just been thinking about this Uvalde thing some more, and everybody's got all these opinions, and you know, yelling about this and yelling about that, and rightly so, basically. But when it comes down to the most important thing here is just to remember that the people who have, the deepest connection to this, the parents and the grandparents and the aunts and uncles and the brothers and sisters of these children and teachers, they will eventually get together and decide what to do. And even if it's only a few of them, because I'm sure there's so many of them that are grief stricken to the point that they probably can't even move. But eventually they will become another group of citizens like the Sandy Hook parents and the the kids that did the shootings here in Florida, or were in the shootings here in Florida, the Parkland kids. That's what I was trying to say. The Columbine parents. There's another group. It's really disgusting. And why we can't just have silly, simple. Really, nobody bitches about the fact that they got to go down to the DMV and get a driver's license and actually take a test periodically, especially when you first get one. You gotta wait in line. You gotta fill out forms. How smart are you about this weapon would be one question. Let's see you tear it apart, kid, and clean it. Put it back together. Show us, your procedures for how it's safely put away. I we would take them out to a firing range. Okay, what's your, show us the proper handling procedure for this weapon. And here's like 3 bullets. You get a 3-bullet magazine you can plug in, or 5 maybe. Fire it off. But I know the way things are now. It's just ridiculous. Stupid people. And just having common sense they say common sense background checks. Come on, it just should be done already. It should have been done years and years ago. Background checks, for Christ's sake. Really? Shit. If you go buy a freaking car, you got to get a background check. Almost every job you get in this country, you get a background check if they know what they're doing. A background check is an evil fucking thing. Really? You're working on an oil rig or something, and you wouldn't want to know if some cat that's coming up next to you is a murderer or a psychopath that wouldn't mind just throwing you in between those gears and watching your head grind up. Nah, fuck that. I wouldn't want that to happen, but let's go ahead and let some punk ass kids that still have afterbirth dripping off their ear be able to buy a gun and go and make. I can't say. I don't want to say anything graphically gross about those children. I can't do it. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. Stop all this. Here's another thing. I mean, I don't want to blame too many. I don't want to get into the blame game because I think the parents are gonna spearhead the charge of who needs to be responsible for the actions taken that day. But one thing I will say is that you know, 10 minutes, 20 minutes in, there's seems like a billion cops, or at least 100,000, you know, running around with all these guns and their ammo packs and shit, and whatever the Texas Ranger fucking thing is, and they're all decked to the nine. They have it. One 18-year-old kid shot a bunch of people and he's dead. You guys are gonna run around like there's a goddamn invasion from Russia. Well, actually, maybe you do. You're gonna need to practice, maybe. But God help us if you are the defenders. God the fuck help us. Alright. That's enough of that. Adios.